Again, we're at the Be Lean in 2015, the place to get the psychological tools and techniques to keep you motivated to be lean, healthy, and have that sexy feeling. A little bit about me, just quickly. Basically, I broke my foot and gained half a stone. I was laid up on the settee, bored and stressed, stopped walking my dog, started the Cambridge Weight Plan and applied my own psychological tools and techniques to aid my weight loss. Weight loss is about how you feed your body, how you move your body, as well as your mindset. And these tools really do work, and they work in other areas of your life, and you really can be, do, and have who and what you want to be. We're going to cover an increase in self-love, a decrease in pounds, having more energy, more focus. So if we've got a pen and paper, just take a deep breath and relax into the chair you're sitting in, and we'll make a start. So last week we talked about the importance of having goals and writing them down. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? And your actions need to be in alignment with your future vision. And you can only have actions in alignment with your future vision if you actually have a future vision. And we talked about beliefs, and that a belief is just a thought that we've thought again and again and again. And the biggest thing is your why, the reason that you want to release weight, because that will be the motivational force that keeps you going. And we talked about some reset buttons for temptation and went through how to do some visualization. And there's a link to the replay, and I'll be sending this out to anybody that wants it. So why do we eat the way we eat? Well, we have to have our actions in alignment with our future vision, and we are either doing actions that move us towards or away from our long-term future vision. When we move away from, we're actually moving away from pain. When we move towards, we're moving towards pleasure. And often we can be moving towards pleasure to escape the pain. So that's where stress eating comes in. And when we're stress eating, we are making short-term decisions and we are getting short-term gain. And generally that's weight, because we're eating the wrong things, because our actions are out of alignment with our long-term future vision. When we focus on our long-term future vision, we're focusing on long-term solutions, and we tend to make long-term decisions. And that can include, well, hopefully includes what we eat, how we move our body, and our mindset. So we need some stress coping strategies. Okay. And when I talk about the pain, often we're escaping pain. It's the core pain that we're avoiding. Generally, when we're eating, we're avoiding a real pain inside of us that we really want to run away from. So if we look at the fight and flight instinct, the caveman instinct, when years and years ago, these guys, they needed the energy to survive. They needed to hunt for food. It was, I've heard it said, as an eat or be eaten. So they needed the stress hormone of cortisol. Chronic stress creates rising cortisol levels that in our modern society we no longer need. We no longer need, we can dial a pizza or go to the shop and buy all our food on the shelves. So the excess calories that we're storing in our tummies, we no longer need. And so now we store them, and there's a higher risk of diabetes and heart attack. And when we're in stress, it's hard to think clearly. We tend to worry. We lose the ability to tap into that part of our mind where we can express our feelings and think clearly. And we make bad decisions because we're making decisions from the animal instinct part of our brain rather than the good thinking part of our brain. So We need to get our brain back. And basically, things are created twice. They're created once in our mind and then once in our reality. Thoughts really do create things. And one of the good things we can do is start to become aware of the words we say to ourselves. For instance, there's a lot of negativity around lose or weight loss and the word diet. So when we say those words to ourselves, it has a negative impact on us. So we need to replace that with new words. We need to use a new language, and we could use words like releasing or letting go of weight. When we use those words that are softer and gentler and have a more positive impact, we are releasing the resistance, and we are putting ourselves in a different energy. We're putting ourselves in an energy of flow. So we need to retrain our brain to rethink new thoughts. And studies have shown it, well, some people will say 21, some people will say 30, and actually some people say 40. So I'm going to use, it takes 40 days to create a new habit. And we need to work from the inside out. Studies have shown that when we work from the inside and change our inner selves, our inner reality, our bodies will follow. In fact, when we change our inner reality, the entire outer reality changes. People start to show up differently in our life. Money starts to show up differently. Our careers start to show up differently. Everything works from the inside out. So one way that we can change our mindset is to look at the story we're telling ourselves about our life in all the different areas. What story are we telling ourselves about our health, about our relationships, our family, our finances? Language is so important here. All my family are overweight. The words always and never need to be when and if you hear yourself saying them, you need to stop yourself and just be curious. I always overeat late at night. I always overeat when I'm upset. I'm never going to lose weight. Well, you are always going to eat late at night and when you're upset, and you are never going to lose weight because you just told yourself. And when you're using the words always and never, you are overreacting, and you're in that part of your brain where you're going to make bad decisions. In fact, your thinking is going to go downhill rapidly. And I've wrote a blog about this, if you want to revisit it after the call ages ago, about the words always and never. And Oh, okay. Is that better? Okay. All right. Hold on a minute, please. Let me put it in a different mode. Is that better? Okay. Okay. Apologies about that. Okay. So we talked about your story. So you need to look at your story. Look at the areas of your life and write it down. Ask yourself, how did I get here? And not in a blaming way, in a very objective way. How did I get here? What are the stressful situations? And again, objectively, what are the stressful situations in these different areas of my life? And what are the beliefs that I'm holding? Remember, a belief is just a thought that you think again and again and again. And what are the consequences? What are the consequences of me continuing eating the way I'm eating, drinking the way I'm drinking? Because these tools can apply to any obsessive use of alcohol, smoking, and food. And you need to rewrite, reframe your story. All my family are overweight can be reframed to something like, even though all my family are overweight, I am empowered to do something different. So we're going to install some new behaviours. And we're going to feel the fear and do it anyway. If anybody has ever read the book, it's a brilliant, amazing book that I would recommend anybody to read. Yeah, Susan Jeffers, yeah. We need to install an attitude of gratitude. And we need to install healthy habits gradually, one step at a time. And we need to look for what's going well in our life, what's showing up in alignment with what we want. And we need to celebrate. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe you get what you focus your attention and energy on. So when you look for what's going well, more of what's going well is going to show up. When you celebrate what's going well, then you're giving that more attention, energy and focus. And I've also written a blog on the closeness of the match. We need to celebrate the closeness of the match of what's showing up in our new story. Okay, so we're going to write down our old story and then we're going to install a new one. And we're going to script our life how we want it to be. And one of the things we can ask ourselves is, what beliefs would a lean, healthy person have? What beliefs would someone with that career have? What do I want people to be saying to me saying about me at my funeral? What do I want to be sitting around telling my grandchildren about? There's a rocking chair test that you can do in coaching. You know, you're coming to the end of your life. How are you going to feel about yourself when you tell your story? And then you need to focus on your new story. And you need to make changes so that you can be in alignment with your new story, your long-term future vision. And there's a master dreams list that when I send this out later, you can click on this link and you can download it. And it's self-explanatory and it will help anyone write a new story. And it shows different areas of your life that you can write your new story in. So we need to install happy, healthy habits. Meditation. 1 hour of meditation is known to be equal to 7 hours of any other personal development work one does. It also lowers cortisol levels, your stress hormone. Visualization, again, is known to lower cortisol levels, and we're trying to stop the stress eating. Affirmations. I deserve sorry. Is it? Where about? Hold on. It keeps flitting back. Wonder why that is. Sorry about this. Is that better? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Power statements. Come up with a really good power statement that you can say to yourself when you're feeling at a low ebb or stressed. And of course, coaching is another good way to help you install healthy habits. So install affirmations. So we've scripted out our old story, or we've given it some thought at least, and we've asked the questions about how we got there, and we've scripted out our new story, our master dreams list. Now we need to create intentions. We need to set goals around our master dreams list. Okay, and we need to come up with some affirmations. So we write our affirmations in the present tense. And when we've written an affirmation, we talked about beliefs before, we need to ask ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, the best, do I expect this to happen? And then if it's under an 8, we need to reframe our intention. And one of the ways of doing that is to begin it or end it differently. So we could say an affirmation of, I'm going to weigh 10 stone by the end of March 2015. Do we believe that? Well, it's about a 5. But if we said, I'm in the process of weighing 10 stone at the end of March, that's more believable and will hopefully raise that 5 to a 6. And then we can ask, well, what will make it a 7? Well, it excites me that I weigh 10 stone by the end of March 2015. And we continue this process until our affirmation is at an 8. And then we can write these on cards, keep them in our purse, our wallet, carry it around with us so that we can reach for it when we're experiencing a stressful time. Can you still see the slides? Yeah? Brilliant. We need to install water. Okay, we need to install water rather than Coke, rather than alcohol, preferably rather than tea and coffee. Water, dehydration can manifest itself as hunger. Water rehydrates us. It increases our energy. It actually alleviates stress. And those of us who know about the Cambridge Weight Plan recommend we drink 2.25 litres of water a day. I always suggest you hit the ground running by drinking a pint of water the second you wake up. Either take water to bed with you and drink it when you wake up, or come down and make yourself a lovely pint glass of water with a slice of lemon in it. We need to install exercise. You need to exercise your body. You could start with walking. And what about your mindset when you're exercising? Smile, hold your head up. You always feel better when you're smiling. Exercising is also an opportunity to use other habits. It's been researched that when you're exercising and you're getting yourself into that high state, it's a good time to repeat the affirmations that you've already come up with. It's a good time to do visualization, especially if you're walking out in the fresh air, in the trees, in nature. Brilliant time to visualize the way your future vision. And it's a good time to do power statements. You need to exercise your mind. You need to exercise the muscles that you need to install to have a different life. Discipline is the number one, I think. You need to exercise your mind, exercise your discipline. The more you do what you say you're going to do, the more your brain is going to believe you're going to do what you say you do, and the easier it gets to do what you say you're going to do. And install visualization. I talked about this last time, and those who find it difficult, just show up. Just show up and be quiet and start to the process of visualization, and it will happen, and it will just show up, and it will create the habit. I did this before, and 99% of success is just showing up, says Woody Allen. Release the clutter. Sorry, I'll look at this for next time. I don't know why that didn't do it last time. Okay, release the clutter. There's a book written by Peter Walsh called Does This Clutter Make My Butt Look Fat? And he did a lot of research around this, and he found that when his clients released the clutter, they released weight. So look at your life. How can you declutter your life? What about your wardrobe? How can you declutter your wardrobe? Even if you take out those clothes and put them somewhere else for the time being. And your house. How can you declutter your house? Because they say that when you release the junk, you release the junk food. To-be list every day. I recommend every day, rather than writing our to-do, we write our to-be list, or as well as writing our to-do. Because who do you need to become to achieve that long-term future vision, that new story that you've scripted out? Who do you need to become? And you can go back to a time when you achieved a goal if you need help with this. So write your to-be list every morning and include the adjectives of what you need to work on to be who you need to be to achieve your long-term future vision. Is it disciplined? Determined? Do you need to be a little bit more patient about releasing that weight? Looking at self-love, you need to treat you like you like you. You need to become aware, as I talked earlier, everything starts from the inside out. You need to become aware of how you talk to yourself. When you hear yourself talking to yourself in a derogatory or a spiteful or a blaming or a shaming way, you need to maybe ask yourself if you'd allow someone to talk to you that way, or would you talk that way to somebody that you loved? And how do you treat yourself? Do you give yourself some self-love time? Do you allow yourself to treat yourself? Do you have candlelit baths or treat yourself to a day at the spa or some time alone? How do you treat you? And make being lean a competition with you rather than everybody else. Focus on yourself. And hold yourself to your high standards. As I said earlier, when you do what you say you're going to do, your mind will start to realize that you mean business, and it will start to show up for you in a different way. And it really is exercising those muscles, those mind muscles, as well as your body muscles, to come into alignment with your long-term future vision. And this tends to be in alignment with your core values. Okay, when you do your Master Dreams list and you script out your new story, that will include your core values. If you read over it, it will include your core values. And you need to do it. As before, these tools really do work if they're applied. Actions in alignment with what you want, actions in alignment with your new story. So take some time out this week to look at your story where you are at the moment and ask the questions on this slide, and then rewrite your story to the story you want, and asking, what beliefs do I need to have to gain this new long-term future vision? And do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Really does make you feel good, or make us feel good about ourselves. And when we feel good about ourselves, it's a never-ending cycle of feeling good and doing good for ourselves and other people. And I talked last week about having like-minded people, and rather than the people or the habits that drive you to eat or drink or smoke, installing those new happy, healthy habits, and maybe even having an accountability buddy or new hobbies in alignment with that. So thank you for coming. Next, moving on in this series, I've got other coping strategies to cope with chronic stress, more reframing. I'm going to talk next week about forgiveness, and NLP will be used in that process, and there will be through a quick, if you want me to, visioning exercise so that you can experience what I'm saying about having that different mindset. Okay, so if you just want to close your eyes, okay, and we're driving in our car, okay, and it's dark and it's late at night and it's raining, and you're driving down a windy, windy road, and you can hardly see in front of you, and you're going to see a new friend. So you don't know this friend very well, so you really don't know what it's going to be like when you get there. And you're actually concerned about the driving, it's all slippery. And how are you feeling at the moment? And what sort of decisions do you think you would make at the moment? Okay, so can you both tell me your mobile number, please? Okay, Annabette? Thank you. That was just a break state. Okay, so we're going to get back into the visualization. So now we are in the middle of the desert and we are driving down a long straight road. We're in a beautiful cabriolet. The sunroof is down. Our favourite music is playing on the radio. The sun's beaming down on us, and we are going to see our oldest, dearest friend. And we know that when we get there, we're just going to have the most fabulous time ever. So how do you feel now? And what sort of decisions do you think you're going to make now? Yeah. So can you see that both those scenarios are about a long-term future vision? And when we have a scary long-term future vision, like I'm never going to lose weight, that we're going to make bad decisions, as opposed to having that long-term future vision where I'm in the process of weighing 10 stone by the end of March. So that's just a little visualization. That's okay. Yeah, I find that I use that with my coaching clients quite a lot, actually, because as you know, it is about having that long-term future vision and keeping one eye on it, as well as having that one foot in reality. So, okay, well, thank you for coming, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. And